So it is, little ones, pretend you're going to go play bingo and you're starting. All right. You have an empty card. All right. You can use it however you want, or you can throw it away, or you can get 2 cards or 3 cards. So it's not a bad idea in this particular game of life to have about 3 plans in the back of your mind about what it is that is going to feel just right for you. Even for the day, it could be fun, to realize you're playing a game. And it has its own order to it because there are rules of the game, but that doesn't mean that the game ends up being the way each one wants it right away. So the game can change right in the middle, and therefore that's what's happening on the planet of Earth. This is what we call game changer, yes? It is the part of the reality where it is that each one is facing a vulnerability, and a vulnerability which appears like they have no control over it, and a vulnerability that they didn't even realize that they had, or a susceptibility that was not brought into awareness. So each one is susceptible and vulnerable if you stay in that position of being the person you think you are, the person that is connected to your town, your country, your family, your history. And so giving yourself permission to move greatly and gently at the same time, which is tricky, but you can do it, into remembering who you really are each time you get yourself involved. When it is, we like to say, the ego is involved, it will be as though the mind is circular and it thinks about something once, twice, 3 times, again, thinking about it over and over again without any type of a resolve. All right, so we're not talking about conclusions here. Conclusions are that part of oneself that draws the line and feels as though they have all the information that they need, or they assume. So feeling is one thing, assuming is another thing, but neither one is going to serve really well at this point in time because of the activity of your solar system, the increase in the vibrations that are happening, and the intensity of everything going on all at once. If you just take a look, if you had made a little cheat on your inside of your wrist for an exam, you would see that the numbers of what it is that are on the board, on the game board at this particular moment, for attention or resolve or for a solution, are many, many more ideas are popping up every single day that pertain to each one. And secret information. So it is inside of each one, it is in the human body, that there is recognition of who they think they are, what it is their expectations have been, what it is that makes them happy, what it is that distresses them, where the stressors are in the life. These are all connected to thought patterns, to the ego, and to the mind. And you're being forced at this point in time to move out of, if you want any kind of peace of mind, peace and quiet inside your head, to being forced out of thinking in terms of what will happen to me. How is this all going to go down? How will that person be affected? What will this person do? How will these people be affected? Because multitudes of people are being affected at every moment on the planet just because a butterfly flapped its wings on the other side of the globe. That's easy. Boy, you've been told that for a long time, although it's very difficult to perceive. But because of the information coming in, and it's not just information coming in off your globe, there are some interstellar informations that are very important now, and to recognize that there is something bigger, more expansive than what it is you have been looking at most of your life, and to recognize the inclusion of another, let's say, race of people that might look very, very different can be very challenging if, in fact, you have not been able to include your own family, or include the people down the block, or include the continent next door. All these things are going on at the same time. So permission to drop out, be a dropout. Do it every 3rd day. Be a dropout. We recommend that because it will give you a period of time where you can assimilate what it is that you've brought in for information, but you can also bring into your world what it is that you are doing at the moment and incorporate that into where it is you believe and feel you are going and moving toward in this particular moment. So the moment is, what shall we say? It's planetary. Moments are on your planet. They're in your third dimension. Moments are much longer when you get off the planet and you're in a different gravitational field, and you have different type of expansiveness of consciousness that are moving about. So you can give yourself permission to realize, I need to stretch, not just your body, because the body can get very cramped up, but I need to stretch my mind. And to be able to stretch the mind, music works very well. Yoga works very well. Reading a book that gives you information that is enjoyable to you works really well as too. You don't want to be challenging yourself all the time, because without even trying right now, you're very challenged to be in this reality, but not of it. It's easy to get caught up in what is happening. So the greatest gift that each human can give to the planet is the discovery of themselves. And that means going beyond the religion, going beyond the psychology, going beyond the information that has been pleasantly placed in front of you, or the information that you got by someone handing it out because they were having an irritating moment, is all secondary to the point in which one can sit with themselves, not have to look out the window or listen to television or to pay attention to anyone else, but just sit. And so meditation is one degree of that, where it is, many people get complicated when it comes down to meditation, what it is that works and what is right, what isn't right. Those things are all going on at the same time. So there is also the moment here where it is that you put your attention inside yourself and feel your heart and feel your breath, so that you recognize that there is a part of you that is observing your body, right? So you're not your body. You can observe it, so you must be far more than you are your body. So you're observing it. And before you came into this world, because you're believing in reincarnation, you recognize that there were certain opportunities placed in front of each and every one before they incarnate to take advantage of certain sets of situations where it is they can grow and be challenged. So these things go on all the time. Every morning when you wake up, there will be a whole new set of circumstances in front of you, because everything is moving so much more quickly. And they will be right in front of you, and you can get a chance to observe. If you don't jump out of bed too fast and you don't get going thinking about your day, you can observe where it is that your spiritual body is lingering, and whether it wants to get your body up out of bed or not. That's one issue. But also the part of self that is momentarily on the planet of Earth, and remembering that it's all momentary, that this is a very significant time in the evolutionary pattern of the planet with lots of different stories connected to it. But what really matters is your own experience of what is happening. So it's fine to pay attention to information, preferably media that is not the streaming kind that is having its own plan and its own plot. It's not even playing bingo. It's off in another hole playing another game, yes? So you come back into your own bingo game, and what you need is your ears open and then your eyes open, and be ready. Be ready to move those little round circles around, or the in the moment, or configurations of little energies that place you in a particular spot. So B57, little piece of plastic or wood, and your brain goes B57, you look at it, you hear it, you place it. So that's all incorporated there. So what is your game plan for the day? It's very, very interesting to say that. It doesn't mean that you're going to exactly plan out your moments, but you're going to have a guideline so that you don't get too sidetracked, so that you don't get too yanked out of your own life force in the direction of someone else's needs, wants, and desires, because a lot of people are not taking care of or responsible for their own activities or their own experiences right now. So it falls on another level of creation around them. And when one is just skipping over some of the details, that too can be useful at times, so that you don't have to get your mind, your brain too caught up in it all. But it's also good to have a sense of what is governing the consciousness of the planet at this time. And so it can boil down into love and fear. And for the most part, the programming is to bring people into fear and to keep them there so that their immune systems will be decreased and their ability to think clearly is also not going to be there. And they're going to be, if still looking outside of themselves, they're going to be looking for who's going to tell me what to do, how's it going to work, and that's where government gets their little finger in your pie, and you say to yourself, I don't need that anymore. I don't want that anymore. And you say no to what it is that is being offered. It's like going to a restaurant. You go in the restaurant and they offer you, a squid bisque, when in fact you're wanting something that is quite a bit different, very quiche or with a salad, etc., something that is, and you say no, and you emphatically say no. But you have to have a distaste inside of yourself for what is happening. So if you're not familiar with some of the things that are happening on the planet, it doesn't hurt to pick up some of the information and get yourself familiar with what is going on. Dalai Lama and, all the people that run countries, they pay attention to the news for the most part. So they have an idea, but they don't surrender themselves and their plan into anyone else's idea. So you don't get caught by surprise. So when we're talking about this, it has to do with your evolutionary pattern. How are you coming into this particular situation? And what is it that you are gaining from this particular experience? If you're just sort of putting it on the background and, we like the expression love and light, but you know what? Doesn't always make a difference, does it, if you send love and light? Because they're just words. One needs to feel it and one needs to be able to project it. And that's how you make yourself far more connected in your spirit to what you're doing here on the planet. So the more you know about your own innate power, and it's not power over, and it's not power to change, but it's just power, so you can appreciate yourself and what it is that you are aware of, because pure awareness is your power. All right, pure awareness is your power. You're not attached to it. You're not getting into a plan to do anything about what's going on. You're just observing that you are with yourself, which is a self that is not the body, and that it's almost like an overview. If you were to look at, you can look at a map of your town, or you can lift up and look at a map of your island, then you can lift up further, map of the globe, lift up further, etc. So the higher you go in your awareness state and you're able to perceive what is happening in your vision, all right? So being careful that the vision is coming from an awareness state, or is it in something you're envisioning, or is it something you were taught? If someone gives you a map of a country in Africa, it's not going to help you at all to get where it is you need to go when you step out of your house and have to go to a place near you. So it isn't helpful. So you have to be in charge of what it is you're taking in. All right? Doesn't mean shutting out, but be in charge of what you're taking in. And many of the great ones know how to sort in their sensibilities what it is that's useful for them at the moment and for whatever it is they are sharing their intelligence with, not the intellect, but the primary pure intelligence. So it's a great growing moment for the planet of Earth and for the humans on the planet of Earth, and for those who recognize that they have been gifted a body, and the body will get taken away, and you can't know when exactly it's going to get taken away. It may fall away in little bits and pieces, yes, or it may just all of a sudden not be in connect with your intellect, because your intellect has to go on a vacation once you leave this body. How do you then get to the next level or the next incarnation? It's held in your emotional body. So you don't want your emotional body to be overactive, and you don't want it to be numb. You want it to be a representation of your heart, and knowing that there are boundaries, there are parameters for the feeling body, that the fright that has been introduced in the last year, starting with long ago on the planet, where it is that there were set circumstances where people could feel very threatened or afraid of the next move, or afraid of what might happen or come all of a sudden, like things that go bump in the night, that the human culture has been brought to its knees, for the most part, by those merciless beings that are sorting out from a place of distance, a place of no consciousness, right? No consciousness aware, and no compassion, just working out of the left brain what it is that they, as they believe they are superior in their race, are looking toward, wanting, or needing, or just perpetuating, because many of them are just numb. They don't have a sense of what is happening at all. It's a drive. It would be not unlike someone that is driven to make money and there's nothing else that matters, or a person that only wants to drive red speed cars and nothing else matters. People have their own way in which they are narrow focused, and that's all coming forward now. So you want to know that your strongest gift would be your ability to choose pure awareness. And then it takes a period of time for the brain to settle down and for the information or the initiated sensitivities, like this 5 senses. They're not your friend a lot of the time. They get you through the day. They help you be in the world, but they are not your friend when it comes down to being able to move into pure awareness, because your nose is not about a pure awareness, and nor is your tongue or or your fingers. That's not pure awareness either, And then all the eyesight and the ears, those are not pure either. They all have filters on them. So you want to go past that. The meditation is a good tool to do that, but the awareness and being able to bring that into your everyday activities is far more useful at this point in time. All right, so it's good to talk to you, little ones. Yes?